Dov.
Oh, hi.
I wanted to do a quick welcome to you and introduction to our awesome students in Australia.
Awesome.
Some of them have had the honor and privilege of hearing you live and in action at AISH when we've come on our July programs, and others are in for a treat tonight. I just wanted to, I guess, by way of introduction on a personal level, you don't know me personally, but I know you personally from listening to you and following you. But any time that I've reached out to you with requests to help students of mine who are currently in Israel, or just any time that I've reached out to you at all, I'm a complete stranger to you, and I'm sure millions of people do reach out to you all the time. But your humility and your kindness is something that really inspires me, and I think it's something that I learn a lot with my girls, is actually living as a Torah Jew, not just learning as a Torah Jew. So it's a big honor to have you on our platform, and we look forward to being inspired by you tonight.
Yofi, thank you so much. Okay, this is it. This is the most important 3 to 4 hours of your life now. Okay, not that long. But we got to tap into something real here, because everyone's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. I'm stuck in my home with my 3 children, and we're all going crazy. So we got to work out what to do about it. I'm actually just going to close the door. Fine. So we're in the month of Adar, and Adar, our sages say, Mishenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. When the month of Adar comes in, we need to increase our joy. You need to increase our joy. So we got to understand what that means, because it seems to me that most people nowadays aren't living with the most deep joy and simcha. And the reason for that is that we're not deeply connected to the true source of happiness. We're not connected to the true source of joy. And I'm going to tell you what that is. And then we're going to work on it, and we're going to be able to tap into that place, hopefully. That's what we're going to be doing. So, our sages teach us a very, 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 very important thing. That who you are, yourself, as it were, yourself is a very pure, whole, wholesome, connected, loving, generous, warm, compassionate, amazing thing. It's called a soul. You have a neshama. It's called a soul. And in that place of yourself, you are always and consistently and constantly in a place of bliss and connection and joy. Our problem that we have in our life is we have things that get in the way of us feeling that. There are things that are covering up our natural state of being, and that takes us away from being happy. So we got to work on trying to find real, consistent, deep, authentic happiness, rather than relying on the external world matching our expectations to make us happy. And this is where people have gone a little bit off. Because for most people, what makes us happy? What is happiness? Happiness is the feeling that we have when we get what we want. We desire something. We want so many things. We want to look good. We want people to like us. We want this. We want to have certainty. We want the situation to be over. We just wanting. We have so many desires the whole time. And the reason we desire something, why do you want something? You want something because you believe that if you get that, then you will be happy. That's it. If I get that thing, I'll be happy, therefore I want it. So the more that you think that thing will make you happy, the more you want it. So how much do you want 20 shekels? A little bit, but not so much. But how much do you want 200,000 shekels? Probably not that much either. $200,000 American. So you want $200,000 more than you want 20 shekels. Why? Because you honestly believe that having $200,000 is going to make you happier than you are now. There you go. And that's really the whole system. This whole system of life is, when I get what I want, then I'm going to be happy. And our sages teach us that it's exactly the opposite. And you're going to find this, it's an amazing thing. The Torah, often what the Torah is teaching is exactly the opposite of what the kind of secular world believes. So the Torah teaches that true happiness doesn't come from getting what you want. If you get what you want, you have a good feeling, but it's very temporary and it's very superficial. So your team, your football team wins, and then you feel happy, you feel good, you feel pleasure, you feel happy. But then they lose the next week. Or if it's my football team, they lose every week. So you never, there's no point of relying on your football team. Or you get the job, but then you wish you had another job. Or you get the car that you wanted, but then someone scratches your car. So that kind of happiness that we get from the external world is very superficial and very temporary. So our sages say, a very important idea, you have to understand this very clearly, that happiness, true happiness, doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from not wanting so much. I'm going to say that again. True happiness doesn't come from getting what you want, because that's never true happiness. It's only very temporary and superficial. True happiness comes from not wanting so much. Once I don't want something so much, and I'm just okay, then I'm going to be naturally happy. So in Hebrew it's called ratzon. And ratzon, ratzoff. I got a class, ratzon, ratzoff. Anyone seen Karate Kid? Anyway, so it's something called ratzon. And ratzon is what's driving me. It means to run. Larutz means to run. What are you running after in your life? What are you running after in your life? I'm running after feeling good. That's what you're running after. You want to feel good. You want to be happy. The problem is you're running after it in the wrong place. You're running in the wrong direction. You're running after feeling happy, which is okay to run after it, but you're going in exactly the opposite direction. It's like, stop. You're not going to get there. There's going to be nice view on the way, but it's not going to get you to where you're trying to get to. So true happiness comes from one thing. True happiness comes from, well, a few things. It depends on which class I'm giving, but for tonight's class, true happiness comes from one thing, which is always going to be the thing I'm talking about. And for today, it is this. It's called self-actualization. Self-actualization. That means actualizing, bringing out, identifying, and manifesting your true self in the world. Now, someone asked me to teach them a class called Staying Connected in a Quarantined World. How to stay connected in a quarantined world. And I gave the class. It was actually on Zoom to 53 people. And I said, how to stay connected in a quarantined world. One word, Zoom. Thank you very much. I'll see you. But the truth is, what I did say to them was that we've never, ever in the history of ever been more connected than we are today. You've got WhatsApp and LinkedIn and Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and SMS and phones. And you are so connected to the rest of the world. It's ridiculous. In fact, you're probably never not available. Unless you keep Shabbat, you're probably always available. And you always want to be available. It might be important. Someone might need to give it. When was the last time you were more than 20 centimeters away from your phone? It's like, well, in the shower, I'm about 40 centimeters away. Don't judge me, Rabbi. I don't take my phone. But you got your phone in the shower. It's at hand's length, just in case and you got it next to your bed when you go to sleep, and you take it into the bathroom with you. You're so deeply connected the whole time. And you're just having notifications hitting you all the time. When I lived in, I don't know how many people have come to my talk about my life story. I just brought a picture. That's what I used to look like when I lived in Nepal. I have a face under my beard, by the way. It's an amazing idea, but it is there. So, when I was up there in the mountains, you couldn't contact me. And it was a very, very freeing feeling. No, I can't contact anyone. No one can condemn me. For most people nowadays, that is not freeing. That causes anxiety. That's horrible. I don't want that. I don't want it at all. So I said in that class, and I'm saying it in this class too, you're more deeply connected than you've ever been to everyone else. The problem is you're so deeply disconnected from yourself. You're so deeply connected from your real self. For whatever reason, you got hurt when you were younger, you had some pain, so you built up a persona. You rely on recognition from other people to get your self-esteem. Whatever it is, people are very disconnected from themselves now. So the truth is, we're being forced to be alone here. Or if you've got a wife and 3 children, you're being forced to be alone with a wife and 3 children in the house, which is great. I've got a balcony. That's where I live now, on my balcony. Anyway, so you're being forced to be alone for once in your life. So what's the opportunity is being built here? You can spend all your time alone, if you are alone, watching Netflix, just escaping from yourself more and more. Just watch Netflix and talk to your friends on WhatsApp and talk. Or you can take an opportunity to just be alone. Just be alone. And now people don't like being alone. It's very scary being alone. When was the last time you were alone with no book, no music in your headphones, no, just being alone? Phone very far away, no newspaper, no book, nothing. Just sit and being with yourself. So very few people ever have that. They never have that. If you come home and you got 10 minutes, it's very rare that someone would just sit and breathe and feel good about being alone. So we're being asked to stop and realize, hold on, my true happiness is going to come from reconnecting to myself, to reconnecting to my real self. Once I've connected to my real self, then I'm going to feel deep joy, because deep joy is the essence of who you are. That's who you are. So do you know why most people don't want to be alone ever? I don't want to be alone. Don't give me those 5 minutes alone. I've got to check my Facebook Messenger and the news. Stop looking at the news. How about that? Take 2 or 3 days. Don't look at the news. It's not helping you. Okay, so more and more people are getting it. Mazel tov. Stop it. It's not helping you. So you know why you find it very difficult to be alone? Because as soon as you go and you be alone, and you don't have any distractions, and you don't have any screens, and you don't have any notifications, and you don't have any book, and you don't have any music, do you know what you realize? You realize that you're not alone. You realize that you've got a mind, and your mind's really, really, really annoying. That's why you don't want to be alone. Because when you be alone, you realize that you're not alone, and you can never be alone because your mind's there. From the second you wake up to the second you go to sleep, it's not leaving you alone. So I can't be alone because my mind's getting in the way. That's why you don't want to be alone. That's why you spend most of your life distracting yourself. Most of your life being social and connecting and running away. You're running away from being alone. Our sages teach us it's the opposite. It's the opposite. You have this place within you called alone. By the way, the word for quarantine in Hebrew is bidud. Bidud, which is related to the word Buddha. No, it's not. I read that up. But the word for being alone in Hebrew is bidud, which means hitbodidut, means seclusion. Seclusion. Now, there's something called external seclusion, take away all the notifications and stuff. There's something called internal seclusion, internal hitbodidut, which means secluding yourself from your own mind, secluding yourself from your thoughts. Even get your mind out of the way. Get your mind out of the way. And you have this faculty in your soul, and it's such a deeply important one, by the way. It is the foundation of your soul. It's the food for your soul. You need this, and it's called alone. And that doesn't mean escape, and that doesn't mean loneliness. When you're truly alone, you're not lonely. And when you're truly alone, you're not escaping, you're actually plugging in. And we know this, my Rebbe, Rabbi Itamar Schwartz, who wrote all the Bilvavi books, you must read them all. Getting to know yourself, getting to know your soul. We'll send them all out to you. Very, very important Sfarim to read. He says your soul needs this alone. It needs this alone. And we know this because Adam was created in the Garden of Eden alone. The first faculty, the first thing we had in our life was this quality of being alone. Now the Torah then goes on to say, Lo tov liot adam levado. It's not good to be alone. You're not meant to be alone. That's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to be connected, but you can only have true, authentic connection with another person if you're okay being alone. Say that again. You can only have true, authentic connection to another person if you're okay being alone, because if you're not okay being alone, then all of your connection with other people and all of your socializing is just escaping from your being alone. You're using other people in a way. They're an emotional crutch. So I need to be sociable and have my networks and be the go-between. I need all of that, but not because I love people necessarily, but it's just because I'm uncomfortable being alone. But someone who can be truly alone, and there's a space within you called alone, someone who can be there, they can be truly sociable then. Then they can love other people just for other people. No, I don't love you. I don't want to spend time with you because I need you, because I need that. I want to be with you because I love you. I want to give to you. I want to grow. So this is really what I feel we should be working on in this time. We should be working on tapping into this space within us called alone, but good alone. And it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy. You all know this. To sit down for a few minutes, it's not easy to do this. But it's reconnecting to yourself. Disconnect from the world. You can't go to sport and restaurants and the mall and all your distractions. You can't go there anymore. It's like the divine creator of the universe just closed it all down. Sorry, I'm closing down Olam Hazeh. I'm closing down this world. You can't do it anymore. Why? Because I want you to connect to yourself. So you've also got to sort out your definition of self. What is your definition of self? So how do you define yourself? How do you get your sense of self? How do you get self-esteem, self-respect? So there's some people it's very external. In England, I'm sure in Australia too. Oh yeah, we play rugby. We don't like you. Whatever. So people get their sense of self based on how well their sports teams do. We won. Did you? We scored. We killed you. We demolished you. We won. We did. And I feel so good about myself. I got so much arrogance and so much pride because the team that I happen to support managed to kick the ball in the net more times than the other team. Oh, hooray. Oh, look, he bounced the ball and threw it in the basket. Oh, wow, that's so meaningful. I feel so good about myself. Oh, no. Oh, he threw that ball. Oh, he kicked it so high. Oh. Why are you getting so much sense of self based on some guys running around the pitch throwing a ball? So that's not yourself. Your football team's not yourself. Someone said to me the other day, but I went to I don't know, it was some NBA or something. You cannot believe where I sat. You can't believe where I had the best seats. And he felt amazing about himself. I was like, you just sat. You didn't do anything. Why do you feel so good? You just sat drinking beer, watching people running around, bouncing a ball. So we know that your football team's not yourself, and your basketball team's not yourself, and your American rules team, Australian rules team, that probably is yourself, but it's very different there, I understand. But you're not yourself. So let's go a bit deeper. Are your clothes yourself? Are your clothes yourself? No, you take them off at the end of the day, unless you're like me who just falls asleep wherever I am at the end of the day. But in general, you take your clothes off at the end of the day, that's it. You don't identify with your clothes, but so many people get their sense of self based on what they wear. Abercrombie and Fitch. I've forgotten how the song goes, but there's a song about Abercrombie and Fitch. Calvin Klein underwear. See, you can tell what generation I'm from. And you have to pull them up a little bit over your jeans so that everyone can see the waistband of your Calvin Klein underwear. There you go. So look at me. I bought Calvin Klein underwear. Look how amazing I am. So that's not yourself either. You're not going to get true happiness from people being, oh, wow, look, he's wearing an Armani suit. I don't need an Armani suit. I can tell you right now, I'm not chasing after Armani suits and things because because I already have about 5. I don't need any more. I have one for every other week. So fine. Then there's another. Let's go even a little bit deeper, closer. How about your body? Your body. So of course your body is yourself. You should respect yourself for having amazing legs. Of course. Have amazing legs, big bits of meat. Oh, look at my bits of meat. They're very, very firm. I have 2 very firm bits of meat that I walk around on. I feel so good about myself. You know what? I'm going to show everyone on Facebook how good my legs are. And then they're all going to write, oh, you're so stunning, you're so gorgeous. And you're like, yeah, I am. I am gorgeous. If you say I'm gorgeous, how many likes? I got 53 likes today for showing my, oh, look how nice I look in a bikini. You know what? I actually look quite nice in a bikini. That's a little secret. No, not many people know that apart from my wife. But a bit hairy, I got to admit. But I'm not showing my picture of me on a bikini on Facebook. I'm sorry. I don't need it. I feel good about myself looking at myself in the mirror in my bikini. I don't need you to say how beautiful I am in my bikini. So this is what people believe, is my body. I'm sure anyone who has heard me speak before, I told you the story about my daughter. My daughter, Tamara Menucha. She's very, 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 very pretty. She's very pretty. And she's very pretty, really, because her mummy's pretty. Her mummy's very pretty. And her mummy's very pretty because Hashem made her pretty. And she's very pretty because Hashem made her pretty. So since she was about 2 or 3 years old, everyone who comes to my house says to her, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so, wow. Tamara, you're so pretty. So at that point, I kick them out of my house. I say, please don't ever come to my house again. I don't really do that. But that's really bad and really dangerous. Why? Because she grows up valuing being pretty. She grows up getting her self-worth based on how pretty she is. I feel good about myself because people think I'm pretty. What's important? I have to look pretty. So I'm going to get an eating disorder now so that I can look pretty. So people think I look pretty and I get my sense of self based on pretty. So this is very bad and very, very dangerous. So I sat her down when she was 3 years old and I said, Tamara, you are disgusting. No, I didn't say that. I said, Tamara, you are very pretty. You are very pretty, but that's just because Hashem made you pretty. That's just because your mummy's pretty. You didn't deserve it. You didn't earn it. It's not who you are. So Mazel Tov, you're pretty. What's more important than being pretty? And she said, sharing my toys. I was like, yeah, being kind. That's more important than being pretty. So now whenever anyone comes to my house and says to her, you're so pretty, we look at each other and we smile. Because we know that's not about, I don't value that. And I tell her sometimes she looks pretty. I say, wow, you look so pretty today. Baruch Hashem. Thank God that he made you so pretty. And especially not your clothes. Someone came to our house and said, wow, that's such a beautiful Shabbos dress. And I was like, yeah, I bought that for her. She said, don't feel good about the fact that you're wearing a beautiful Shabbos dress. I worked really hard, paid for you to have a beautiful Shabbos dress. I say to her, a nice Shabbos dress. I don't praise her for being pretty. I praise her for being kind. I praise her for her character traits. So we're going a bit deeper now. Who you really are, there are 2 levels of who you are, but in this world, who you really are is really your character traits, your midot. In Hebrew, it's called your midah. That defines who you are much more than anything else. If you say, I'm really working on myself, I'm really working on myself. What does that mean? I'm working on my golf swing? That doesn't mean that. I'm really working on myself means I'm working on my character traits. I'm trying to let go of my negativity. I'm trying to tap into positive, good, healthy values. I'm working on myself. Very important to understand it. So how you should start identifying as yourself and tapping into yourself is, what positive character traits do you have? What positive character traits do you have? Now, unfortunately, for most people, it's kind of the other way around. People come up to me all the time and they're like, Rabbi, I hate myself. And usually I say to them, yeah, if I were you, I'd probably hate myself too. No, I don't say that. What I say to them is, well, that wasn't funny. I'm sorry. I'll just leave now. Thanks for having me. Fine. So what I say to them is, I say to them, why do you hate yourself? And what will usually happen is they'll then give me a list of things they give me a list of bad character traits. I'm selfish sometimes, and I get annoyed with my mum when she pressures me, and I don't always listen to my friends, and I cheated on my girlfriend, and they give me a whole list of bad character traits. So then I say to them, I hear that, you've got bad character traits, but why do you hate yourself? don't identify as your bad character traits. That's not who you are. Those are things you need to work on. When you have children, Bezrat Hashem at the right time with the right nice Jewish guy or girl in Israel, you should be the Bayis Ne'eman B'Yisrael. I'll be the rabbi at your wedding. It'll be an amazing wedding. I'll do your wedding. Bezrat Hashem. Anyway, when you have children, Bezrat Hashem, they should be happy and healthy. When you have children, and they do have bad character traits, because they will, especially if they take after you, then you won't hate them. You won't hate them if they have bad character traits. And by the way, if you would, then you're not ready to have children. And you should talk to someone about that. In general, if your kids have bad character traits, you don't hate them. So you shouldn't hate yourself for having bad character traits either. Why not? Because that's not yourself. The bad character traits aren't yourself. So I said something that if you were listening a bit carefully, you might think I contradicted myself here. Because I said you should identify as your good character traits. But then I said your bad character traits aren't yourself. So everyone should be like, but if my bad character traits aren't myself, then my good character traits aren't myself either. And I hear that question. It's a good question, but it's not true. Because your good character traits come from your soul, and your soul is yourself. Your good character traits and your good positive thoughts, they come directly from your soul. They're a manifestation and an expression of your soul, and your soul is the highest level of who you are. Your negative thoughts and your negative character traits are external. They're not you. They are not who you are, and we know this because it all started in the Garden of Eden, in Gan Eden, when there was Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve. So they were in the Garden of Eden, and then there was the snake, the Nachash. So the Nachash was an external evil force. It was external to them, and it basically created within them ego and physical craving. Ego is called kavod and taiva. It says in Pirkei Avot, the thing that's cutting you off from your soul, kina taiva v'kavod maitzin et adam min ha'olam. Jealousy and honor-seeking and physical cravings cutting you off from your soul. So the snake said to Adam and Eve, look, if you eat from that fruit, why Hashem says you can't eat from it is because if you do, you'll be as great as Hashem. And she was like, I want to be as great as Hashem. Bam, immediate disconnect then. A sense of self separate from spirituality. Me, I want to be great. And as soon as she was cut off from that side of her, then she saw the fruit and she wanted to eat from the fruit. And that's physical craving. I need that fruit in order to be happy. So that's what the snake did. And then once we ate the fruit, what we did is we internalized that voice of the snake. This is turned into Kabbalah 101 here, but it's good. We internalized the evil voice. So now the snake voice is inside your head. And what's even worse, it uses your voice. Oh no. So you've got this voice in your head, which is actually an external force. It's the snake. It's not you, but it's taken over. It's been ingested. You consumed it. And now it speaks in your voice. But you have to understand it's still external to your soul. It's not who you are. It's an external thing. So when you're cleaning yourself for Pesach, you got to dust things. You got a glass, and it's got dust on it. You got to wipe off the dust. The dust is an external thing. You got to wipe it off. But then you also got to polish the glass to bring out the essence of the glass. So you got to do both of these things. You got to polish and bring out your soul, but wipe off the dust, which means that when that voice in your head, and it could be a critical voice, putting yourself down, judgmental voice, putting other people down, anger, jealousy, doubt, fear, guilt, regret, hatred, any of those voices, you have to start relating to it as, that wasn't me, I'm not identifying with it. I'm not identifying, I'm not judging myself for that voice, it's not me. It's like if someone else comes up to you and makes a racist comment, and they say, all Indian people are there, they make a racist comment, you're not going to beat yourself up for someone else's racist comment. So too, don't beat yourself up for your own Yetzer Hara, your own negative mind pattern. It's not you. Just say to that voice in your head, I hear that, I don't believe that. You got to understand, you should not be believing everything that your mind tells you. And probably for most people, you shouldn't be believing anything your mind tells you, to be fair. So just because it happened in your mind, just because you heard that in your mind, doesn't mean you have to believe it or make it significant. Don't make it so significant. Even if it is true, you don't need to focus on it. Your whole experience of existence is just whatever thought you're making significant. So if you're, for example, lots of people are talking to me about they have a bit of fear and anxiety and worry about this situation. Completely understandable, completely justifiable. So how do you deal with that? You could either go with it, or whenever a fear thought comes up, fear and worry is just based on, well, I'll tell you the difference between fear and worry. Fear is there's an immediate threat. If something's immediately threatening you, your sense of self, your ego, your health, even your life, that's called fear. I'm afraid because my sense of self is being threatened in the present moment. That's called fear. Worry is the same, but it's more about the future. There's something in the future that I'm not in control of that's a threat to my sense of self. That's what fear and worry is. So how do you deal with fear and worry? So on one very simple level is whenever those thoughts, your thoughts create your emotions. So whenever those fearful thoughts come up, rather than making them so significant and giving them the microphone and saying, yeah, I'll listen to you, you just got to say to them, I hear that. I'm sure I'll be okay. I hear that. I hear that. I'm sure I'll be okay. I hear that. I'm sure it will be okay. Don't have to ingest everything your mind's throwing at you. Now, this takes a lot of practice. But now that I've even mentioned it, I'm sure you're going to be able to do it today. One time when you have a anxious thought or a worried thought, or you're going to be able to let it go and just say, I hear that. And it's going to come back again, and you've got to do it again. Because the truth is, anything you've ever worried about either didn't happen or it happened and you dealt with it. I know that because you're all here now, basically. And you might still be dealing with it, and therapy, energy healing, whatever, that's okay. But anything you've ever worried about didn't happen or happened and you dealt with it. Or happened and wasn't so bad, so you don't really need to deal with it. So it's easier said than done. It's easier. Oh, okay. Joel Herman wants to ask a quick question. Absolutely not. Sorry, Joel. Now go on then. Take yourself off audio, maybe. Off mute. You've only got 5 seconds. Oh, are people really going to get in touch with themselves during this lockdown? Aren't there still enough distractions? Okay, oh, here we go. Are people really going to get in touch? Aren't there still 100%? How do I get back to my screen? Close chat. Hi, I'm back. Joel said, people aren't going to do it anyway in the lockdown. You're exactly right, Joel. Apart from you, I can't count how many people are here. You're not going to be like that. But you're right, Joel. People aren't going to use this opportunity. You're right. They're going to watch Netflix all the time and spend their more time on social media. And they're going to be they're going to waste their time. They're going to waste their time. But you're not going to be like that, because we're just giving you this class. And I'm tell you, those people who are wasting their time are escaping, and they're running away from the key to true happiness. This lockdown is your opportunity to tap into true happiness, but you have to do the work. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get it. So yes, most people aren't going to get the message. But whenever anything like this happens in our lives, we say to ourselves, what's the message? What's the message? It's not, oh, I came up with a good line the other day. Don't say to yourself, how are we going to get out of this? Say to yourself, what are we going to get out of this? Big. Don't say to yourself, how are we going to get out of this? Say, what are we going to get out of this? How am I going to use this to become greater? Every challenge in my life is going to become greater. So don't, and by the way, the reason people aren't going to grow, and the reason people don't grow in general, is because we like to take the easy option. We don't want to put in the effort. It's much easier to smoke weed than meditate, apparently. I don't know. But people don't want to put in the effort. Smoking weed is a temporary solution, probably causes more anxiety in the end, and it wears off. Whereas deep, actual, real meditation is a real solution to things. That is how getting to your soul is not very easy. Running away from your mind is very easy, but you have to keep doing it. You have to keep watching Netflix and keep checking. You have to keep going, and it's very, 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 very tiring. And at some point, you just got to get fed up with it. You got to get fed up with it. You just be like, I'm fed up with running so much. People are running so much in this world. You're trying to get somewhere, but you don't know where you're trying to get, really. Maybe you're trying to get to happy, but you're going in the wrong direction. And no one ever just sits down. Just sit down and shut up. There you go. How about that? That's why by the way, we have something called Shabbos. Shabbat comes from the word lashevet. Lashevet means to sit down. Stop chasing, stop running, stop achieving. Sit your mind down as well. Sit down and Shabbat. I made myself laugh. Someone's got to write that down. I'm going to write that down. Just sit down and Shabbat. That's brilliant. That's going viral. Oh no, viral. Can't say that anymore. Yes, there was a question. I saw. I can't get to the chat. Hit the chat again. Go on. Chat, question. Take yourself off mute. Yep.
Hi, Rabbi. It's Lauren and Gary here. Rabbi, just a question. You said that the serpent is now in your head. Is your mind solely the serpent, or is there any positive?
No. Good. No, so you've got two. Every voice in your head is either coming from your soul or the snake. All the positive stuff is coming from your soul, and all the negative stuff is coming from the snake, and that is your battle. You're kind of the battleground in between these two forces, soul versus snake. And you've got to start choosing which one are you going to feed. And the more you feed your soul, the stronger it gets. And the more you feed the snake, the stronger it gets. So yeah, you're that guy in the middle. Our sages say basically you have a soul, and when the soul comes down into a body, it can express itself in three ways. There are three modes of expression, and you only do these three things. There's nothing else you ever do in your whole life. You only do one of three things, and that is thought, speech, and action. You either think, speak, or act. There's no other option. So your thought, speech, and action is either going to be in line with the soul or in line with the snake. It's going to be identifying as a soul, identifying as a snake. It's going to be manifesting snake or manifesting soul. So you've got to be this kind of ocean of calm, island of calm in the ocean, and go with those positive thoughts are you. They represent you, and say, that's my thought. I don't want to share my toys with my brother. That's your snake. I'm going to share my toys with my brother. That's your soul. And that's the battle of life, by the way. That is the battle of life. Don't try and run away from the battle. You can't run away from the battle. So fight that battle, but it gets easier and easier once. Which one do you feed? You have so many desires. We said this before. Your mind's always desiring. I want things. I want to get up. I want to stay in bed. I want to have this for breakfast. I want to have that for breakfast. I want to talk to my friend. I don't want my friends to talk to me. I want to get that new clothes. I want to go to work. I don't want to go to work. All the time. You spend all day very, very, very busy desiring. You're just running after your desires all day. And you get very, very tiring. But some of the desires are actually very good and healthy and positive. The desire for growth, the desire for beauty, the desire for real love, the desire for peace of mind. Those desires are actually good. You should be going towards those desires, feeding those desires. But the problem is the other desires, chocolate cake and stuff, are more immediate and take less effort. So you sell out, you buy the counterfeit. So you've got to start being able to put in the effort and say, I don't want this anymore. I want to live an extraordinary life. I want to live an extraordinary life. And it's up to me. Don't blame your circumstances. You start choosing, I want to live an extraordinary life. So I'm not going to identify with the snake anymore. I'm going to let go of the snake, and I don't think you can stop the snake voice. You can, it's a very high level. But you can't stop the snake voice, but you can stop giving the snake voice such significance. And you can just say, okay, I hear that. I'm all right. I'm all right now. I'm not listening to you anymore. It's okay. Shh. You got to treat your mind like a baby. So, shh, it's okay. It's okay, baby. It's all right. I know. No, but you're not good enough. No, it's okay. I'm good enough. I'm fine. Shh, it's okay. No, but you let yourself over there. Okay, I know. It's okay, but I'm working on that. Thank you so much. No, but what if this happens and the world economy doesn't? Okay, it's fine. Thank you. Hi. Sorry, are there other questions? I could just keep going forever now. I want to give you a small idea, and then maybe we can do a short meditation. And it's a mashal. It's an analogy. It's a vision that will help you understand everything that I'm saying. How many days a year does the sun shine in London? How many days a year does the sun shine in London? And I'm from England. So the answer is every day. Every day. It's just covered up by clouds for 362 days of the year. But the sun shines every day. But it's just covered up by clouds. Your neshama shines every day. Your soul's always there. It's just covered up by the clouds of your mind. So you just got to start moving away the clouds of your mind and revealing the clear, crisp, blue, sunny sky. That's all you have to do. It's always there. But we're just so caught up in the clouds. Fly above the clouds. By the way, we just had Purim, and we had this idea of going ad de lo yada. You have to drink. It's not really what it means. It says baisem. You have to be baisemed, which means spiced, actually. You have to get spiced until you go beyond your mind, but not below your mind, not you threw up out of your nose and then passed out in the bath. That's not what Purim's about, funnily enough. I wish I'd spoken to you before Purim. It's about going beyond your mind. It's going to a place of beyond mind, a place of beyond the struggle, beyond the snake. It's going ad lo yada, the tree of knowledge of good and evil is the eight das tovara, this das, you've got this mental energy. So you can go beyond that to a place of before snake. That's what we're trying to do on Purim, go to before snake consciousness. And that's called clear blue sky. Another example is you can have very choppy, windy, crazy sea with 50-foot waves, crazy. But if you go under the sea, you just got to go under, very calm, very quiet, very still. So you are very calm. You're not worried. You're not anxious. You're not hateful. You're not jealous. You're not envious. That's all on the surface. It's not you. Just learn to wade through that stuff. Learn to go deeper. And you can't go deeper by escaping into social media. You'll never go deeper. You can only go deeper by just sitting and being with yourself and wading through your mind and revealing that place within yourself. And that place is always available for you. It's always there. The sun always shines in London. It's just covered up. Your neshama is always there. It's just, you've got a little flame of neshama. It's just been so covered up and squished by society and needing to fit in and all this stuff. So you just got to reveal that light. Reveal the light within you, children. I feel like Yoda. Yoda comes from the word Yodea, by the way, which means to know. Anyway, let's do a 2-minute meditation. So what we're going to do for the 2-minute meditation is I'm going to describe what we're going to do first, and then we're going to do it. If you feel like turning off your video, I can only see 3 people at a time anyway. But if you want to turn off your video, you feel more comfortable, turn off your video. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to close our eyes. And as soon as you close your eyes, you're going to feel something. You're going to feel very uncomfortable or very bored or very frustrated or very anxious or very peaceful or very loving. You're going to feel something. As soon as you close your eyes, a feeling will come up. What I want you to do is, that feeling is just a cloud. It's a cloud, and let it be there. Don't get into it and be like, oh, don't feed it. I'm very anxious. I hate being anxious. What's wrong with me? Just notice it. Just watch it. Just watch it. And then thoughts are going to come up. Well, how long is it going to talk for? I've really got to, I'm missing my favorite Netflix, whatever. Oh, you can't miss it nowadays. Could you just record it? Whatever. But I really got to take off my nail polish. I forgot to send that email for work. Whatever it's going to be. I actually did forget to take off my nail polish. Anyway, so you got to, when the thoughts come, those are just waves on the surface of the sea. The thoughts are waves on the surface of the sea. The thoughts are clouds in the clear blue sky. And rather than getting washed away and swept away by them, I want you to just watch them and try and find little spaces of clear blue sky. So you're going to be breathing in very deeply through your nose, if you can. If you can't, breathe in through your mouth. And very deeply and slowly and steadily breathing in. And then when you filled up your lungs, I want you to smile, a very little smile. And then I want you to breathe out. And don't take this too seriously even. It's not a competition. Breathing in, smiling, breathing out. When thoughts come, emotions come, just let them be there and let them fly past. And we're just going to do this for 2 minutes now. Maybe you want to loosen your neck a little bit and your shoulders. Breathing in very, very deeply and slowly and steadily through your nose, smiling and breathing out. And if you notice you're not concentrating on your breath, you're just going with your thoughts or daydreaming, just smile. Don't get upset with yourself, just smile and return to concentrating on the breath coming in and out of your nose and just watching the thoughts and the emotions going by. Loosen your neck and your shoulders if you feel like it. Breathing very, very deeply and gently and steadily through your nose, smiling, sitting up straight, and gently breathing out. As soon as you notice your thoughts wandering, just step back again, smile, concentrate on your breathing. Seeing the clear blue sky behind the clouds. Okay, we're just going to finish. We've got 1 more minute. I want you to choose a positive thought. Any positive thought, and just keep saying it to yourself. For example, I'm sure everything's going to be okay. Or, I love myself for no reason. Or something you're grateful for in your life. I just want you to fill your consciousness with positivity, positive thoughts. And you'll notice that the snake wants to put negativity in there. And just for now, say to the snake, shh, it's okay. I'm just concentrating on the positive now. So you choose your own positive thought, your positive attitude. And just for 1 minute, I want you to breathe in and out deeply, feeling the positivity that comes from the positive thought. And letting any negative ones that are sabotaging it, just let them go. Okay, just take 3 or 4 deep breaths, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. So look, you've got an opportunity now, and you could use it to watch Facebook and Instagram and stuff, or you could take 5 minutes a day to practice this. And then for the rest of the day, you can watch Netflix. But for 5 minutes a day, just give yourself this. It's the best gift you can give yourself. It's a gift of learning to be alone, learning to connect to your soul. And your soul is very, very deeply connected. It's not afraid. It's not lonely. It's not anxious. It's not angry. It's not hateful. Your soul is perfect and blissful and clear and amazing. You just have to give yourself the opportunity to tap into that. got a few minutes for any questions. I think it would be easier if you can unmute it, because I don't know how to get to the chat.
Just a
Are there
question
any?
now.
Yeah, please.
Just in relation to connecting to your
Sorry,
true
if you want to turn your videos back on now, that would help me. Thanks.
Cool, thank
Go on.
just about connecting to your true self, do you consider meditating a way to connect to the self, or can it sometimes just be a way of ignoring your own thoughts?
Well, it depends what the purpose of it is. So we say the only thing getting in the way of your true self is your thoughts. So there are two types of meditation we have. One is called hitbonenut, which is you use your thoughts to arouse a certain emotion, which is deeply within you anyway. So you can think to arouse awe and wonder, you can think about how unbelievable the creation is. And there's something else called hitbodidut, which is getting rid of the clouds, basically. That's what meditation is doing. It's getting rid of your mind, at which point your soul can be revealed. But an atheist can also meditate, and he's not connecting to his soul. He's just saying, I need a break from my crazy mind. And that's also a level. I just want to slow my mind down and have a bit of a break. That is a level. But Jewish meditation isn't about that. Jewish meditation is about revealing a deeper place within yourself. Anyone else? All right. You can get my email address, and if you have any questions, you can send them to me, and I'll decide if I can be bothered to answer them or not.
So hi, Rabbi. Sorry, one more question, just from Gary and Lauren.
Yeah, please.
So just with all the here's the video. So sorry, just with all the negativity and craziness going on in the world.
Or negativity. Okay, carry on.
I mean, I hear completely what you're saying about, we're going to our mind, it's a very happy place, and our thoughts are clouds. But I mean, there's a lot of, like Jewish people that are sick, and there are a lot of people losing their jobs, and people aren't going to minyan, and people aren't reading the Torah, and people aren't saying Kaddish. I mean, there's like literally, like, it's not object or subjective object. I don't know what the word is. It's a bad thing. Do you not agree? And I mean, how do we reconcile?
Okay, great, excellent. So there's something called, I described it before as positive character traits and negative character traits, or positive reaction and negative reaction. And how do you define positive and negative? One is it's achieving something, it's taking you to a higher level, and one is not achieving anything, it's actually disconnecting you. So it's everything you said is true. There's an objective reality, but worrying about it and complaining about it isn't going to change anything. It's not going to help you. It's not going to do anything. Whereas calling out to Hashem from a place of pain for the Jewish people is doing something for you. It's making you a better person. Digging deeper. So I'm not saying that the objective reality is not bad, although ultimately, if you have Emunah, it's not. But let's be real here. There's very, very difficult, challenging things. It's just, how do you face challenge? You face challenge by worrying and complaining, which doesn't help, it doesn't do anything? Or do you step up to the challenge and say, I've got to dig deeper and find a deeper place within myself and react to this in a healthy way that is going to help me and help the Jewish people, and I'm going to use this to inspire me to do something.
Okay, thanks, Rabbi.
Now?
Hi, Rabbi. I have a question for you.
Please.
Before, when you were mentioning the notion of being alone and then taking that aloneness and then constructively using it to either be with people or not be with people, how do you think that relates to like an introvert or an extrovert's sensibility, whereby some people do feel charged and more connected to their inner being by being with people, and other people find that aloneness is just naturally a safer space for them to be in?
I would say that you have to have enough self-awareness to understand why you're introverted or extroverted. Because it's very often that an extrovert is only really an extrovert because they're running away from being alone. So they're not really necessarily an extrovert. They just have to be so outgoing because they're uncomfortable to be alone. And it might just be that who we call an introvert, they're just escaping from other people because they can't handle that, and they have so much low self-esteem that they just can't be around people. So I think even introvert and extrovert can be quite an external expression of a deeper thing, and that really we're all balanced in both of them. We all are, my Rebbe says that we all are introverts really and extroverts. It's just how you play into that. So you can still, if you're defining yourself an introvert, you can still be an introvert, but really introvert then. Really go within yourself and go deeper. Don't be an introvert because you're scared to be out there. And don't be an extrovert because you're scared to be an introvert. Because a real extrovert is someone who can be really introverted as well. Can you see that? Anyone else? Sean Novice looks like he's having the time of his life here. I don't know what you're doing out there, but it looks great. You're giving the next class, Sean. I love it. I'm loving you. Okay, I got to go and help my wife with my children before it's not.
Thanks, Rav.
Okay, I love you, children. The Lord should bless you.
That was amazing. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
maybe let's try and do it again soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely do it again soon.
Love you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.